Female head porters, otherwise known as Kaye in Ghana, are an integral part of the smooth running of daily business in many towns and cities. They carry luggage of all shapes and sizes for whoever requires their services. Very few people care to find out where after this back-breaking work each day the Kaye retire to. Even those who patronize their services do not have a clue.
I've been wondering why, but I think they've been sleeping outside. That's what I suspect they've been doing.
In the nation's capital, it is common to find female headquarters at the Tema station. And with my cameraman, we headed to the Tema station this time not to seek their services, but to find out where they lodge after work. Our discovery at about 10:45 that evening was disheartening. Hundreds of headquarters are taking over the sheds under which passengers take shelter from the sun during the day. As soon as they saw the crew, they became agitated. They demanded that we leave the place as many people had come to take short of them in the past, but no help had come their way. In the midst of the heckling, one of them told us that each porter knows their place when it's time to go to bed. The commonest complaints here include rape and robbery, with many victims recounting horrifying experiences.
$400,000 is a let in a Brighton and I had to say, Bobiania, Nasalette, no more than no more yet,
But what do these people face when the rains begin to fall? Well, went out to find out. As the rains fell, many of those who take it easy on the verandas and in front of shops had to scamper for places where they could shelter for as long as it was raining. When the crew got to the Tema station, it looked deserted. However, upon closer examination, we found that the hundreds who used to sleep in the open were now crouching under tables over which they had put sheets of polythene just to shelter from the rain. Others were hiding under sheds where they will squat until the rain is over so they can go back to sleep on the pavement from which the driving rain had ejected them. Those who could not find places were lying in the rain, wrapped in polythene. Well, as you can hear, that's the cry of a baby right under the polythene. And I believe that this baby is probably crying because, you know, he's been under the polythene for too long and it's been raining. The mother has no choice but to cover up this baby. Others were walking around with their plastic sheets in their arms, waiting to join their colleagues on the pavement and in the rains. They have to be sleeping under this polythene bag for the rest of their lives. Then you can imagine how the situation is. Right under are these people with just a child, whom I presume should be less than 5 months old, right under here. At other places like Tudu, Kantamantu and Dakuman, the homeless were huddled together. They could not avoid the rains, but took the chance to warm themselves. At Asantua New Town, some homeless people had squeezed themselves in these small places to try to catch some sleep. Many are now beginning to wonder whether it was worthwhile leaving their homes where they did not want to be burdened to their families to come to the city for greener pastures. But they say they can't just go back home without anything to show for it.
Yes, baby, baby, echo. Nansan kamimi jina se ankami si yanti na mbasa na kama me ba bon pass nyankopon de ntina me ba nyankopon ma mensanka na mensaso nko me kro na ka me ba na mensaka na me ko me kro ma na kama kwa business kakra nkra me kwa business kakra kasan ka me so ahano me so metuma adwen if the business na me yem boa me.
Their plea for help is unending.
Nkanya dem bia na say Juma bia Yabeko Kuruma and I say Bewakura never jazz Ajman Yada Abantina, Nanka Jay Abantina Dakabe.
Considering the closer risk associated with sleeping in the open, I sought to find out if people who for one reason or the other find themselves sleeping on the streets do not have the right to proper shelter. Anna Bosman was then the acting commissioner of the Commission for Human Rights and Administrative Justice, SHRAJ.
Yes, everybody has the right to shelter, and it's incumbent on the state to provide that access to shelter. That's number one. Some of the people who are out there on the streets, sleeping at night in the open, some of them, of course, for no fault of their own, are out there. That's one category. You also have the category of people who are there because they want to be there. Okay, it might be very difficult to understand that, but it is true. You have some people who are there because they want to be there. Okay, we are talking about the people who are there, but they don't want to be there.
The struggle of these homeless people to survive in the city, as we have seen, will continue to haunt many viewers for some time to come. It is amazing how many are prepared to brave the thunder and the rain just to make it in the city.
We don't have enough houses in the system, but I think that the other side too is the agents. You know, somebody builds a house, then you have the agent and who will come and then advertise. Then this person goes, and at times they will not even allow you to even see the owner of the house. You pay some 10% of the advance payment. So if the owner is going to take 6 months advance, the agent is not going to get a lot of money. So the agent will negotiate with the owner, and then the landlord or the landlady, and then they will come and tell you they need 2 years advance, 3 years advance, and that is what is making rentals very, very, very difficult for people.
As rent charges soar above the reach of the average income earner, many are finding creative ways of providing shelter in the city. Metro News found one group of people who claim they are making it easy for the less privileged to get a place to sleep away from the mosquitoes and the robbers. Charles Ohimeng Sapong and his colleagues have put these old student beds and mattresses to good use at the Kwame Nkrumah Circle along the railway line near the Neoplan station. The nets here keep the mosquitoes away, and we are informed that drivers, conductors, travelers, and even those who live in the city find shelter here at 1 Ghana cedi per night. This is probably extended. We won't be able to have the people that we see on the street living under the exposure of the bad weather, as well as the mosquitoes.
I'm a contract with Vuta region. I'm a call baby Ayadano. Yadda Abontesa. So you can cry, you could see 1 city, and direct a form 1 my yada. Timmy me buy and on 5 minutes. Say, we beat me the cat, a form, baby, my call let you 1 city. And I remember Bobby Benam the near my behind with the net I found when I'm some of the idea. Maybe our hona or mobile.
In spite of the danger of sleeping along the rail lines, he says he alerts his client whenever the trains are arriving and does not foresee any danger from the trains. Some of the patrons say the innovation is a relief for people like them who cannot afford exorbitant rent.
I was dancing a cracker. I need dying. A bar 1 cedi that them was
No, nowadays hotel, there's a Vitry hotel just here, but it's about 20 cedis per night. This one is 1 cedi.
Realizing that low-income earners can't get accommodation, the NPP government introduced the affordable housing scheme. Many questioned its relevance, stating that the prices being quoted, ranging then from 10,000 Ghana cedis for 1-bedroom flat to 15,000 Ghana cedis for a 2-bedroom apartment, had already ruled out those who need them most. Ernest Banning is an architect and the CEO of Modular Group.
Sometimes I don't even want to talk of it as perhaps affordable housing. The average person who goes in for the loan to even purchase a house, which is supposed to be affordable, is taking the loan at 12 or 15%. And that, for me, is not even concessionary insofar as that poor person is concerned. If we came down to, let's say, even 2% or 3%, let the person pay the principal, and then just top it up with 2 or 3% just to cover administrative overhead.
He says long-term housing loan financing should be encouraged among financial institutions.
Unless there is an effort, for me, on the government side, to facilitate easy access to funding and even give people, give them access to loans which are highly subsidized.
So what then can be done right away to help people sleeping rough in the streets?
You use the institutions and you use the services that can do that. Social services, social welfare. Why don't you then resource the social welfare? Because these social welfare officers are the ones who can actually go around and help in the taking up of these people. But then you have to also have social structures where you can put them. So that's what we're talking, we're advocating for the building of shelters.
Steve Akufu, an architect, says that about 95% of housing is provided by the private sector, and government should make it possible for them to put up structures for even the lowest income earner.
The government should facilitate it. Of course, government should make some intervention themselves and do the things that will enable the private sector to build some more.
He is largely supported by other experts.
One option is to get these dormitory type accommodation, you see. So you are not there to look for what you think will suit you or give you extra comfort, but what will give you a place to lay your head and be able to wake up, to ease yourself and take a shower. It could be mass situation like you would do in a refugee camp.
If we need to develop, I think that we really need to specify as to where we need to have residential facilities, where we have to have farming communities, we have to have areas that are specifically designated for certain types of activities. If we do that, that also tells us the way and manner in which the nature of the buildings, should be put up.
Those who are in this trouble themselves have not run out of ideas on how their problems can be tackled.
Utimi si dan kese na obi oda bontin bia sorry I say tree and I so nya bus metro bus bi metro mass bia e pon a obi apon adwuma na kana be fa ye de ko ti nipa ne da won sorry na ade echi a obi atutu 1 cedi na it say hwa na nipa ne ye ti e ko ba sa wo mo de da bontin nyina obi a na bontin bi
nipa na na da mu na 50 pesos anopa 20 pesos 22 cedis mbatima tua for the day anapa bi ha ono ire 2 cedis enti bosume no so a beso na nya oden betu beso no otua kana wie ese obekuku bese 7-8 million ko han dan no e masa bi na ba na sisi ni etutua kakra.
Many, including government, have underscored the need to source funds to construct cheap houses for low-income earners and even the unemployed.
During my rounds, I have gathered a wealth of ideas which can't all be captured in this particular full-story report. It may, however, be prudent that a national housing conference is organized to find answers to this huge challenge of unavailable basic shelter in the city. We fear that until this is done, the less privileged will continue to pay the price for the negligence of duty of some privileged ones. Samuel AGYEMANG, Metro TV News, at the ghetto of my friend Dolaman, Accra.